What's up, everybody? Alex Fischbein back here again with you guys by way of the Basketball Society for another Fisch's Friday rant. So today we're going to talk about this whole DeAndre Jordan thing that went on, and maybe a little Summer League as well. But this whole DeAndre Jordan thing was honestly just ridiculous. I just remember just hanging out, just chilling in my apartment, looking through Twitter, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the Clippers are going over to DeAndre Jordan's house to talk to him about maybe going back on his decision to go to Dallas and then go stay in LA instead. And I was like, okay, I can see how they want to get him back. DeAndre Jordan's definitely an important part of that team, and without him, they weren't really looking like they were going to get close to the finals at all. So that made sense. It was like, all right, they're going to go and make this last-ditch effort and try and get him. But, I figured Dallas would, at least Mark Cuban and some other guys in Dallas would try and be like, hold on, okay, you can talk to him, but make sure, let's contact DeAndre ourselves and just tell him, yo, we need you in Dallas. We're glad you're here. We want you to be here and all that kind of stuff. So, when I first saw it, I was like, all right, I understand that. Then everything started coming out about how, the Clippers were, locking down DeAndre's house. And they had guys in the four corners, and then you had Blake Griffin posting the picture of that one chair on the door. And you had that whole emoji battle that was really weird. That emoji battle was ridiculous about with the cars and then the planes and boats and all that kind of stuff. That was just why? What was the point of that? Which I will say, as an aside to that, Kobe and Jordan definitely won that emoji battle because Kobe asked about it. Jamel Hill was like, oh, all the kids are doing it, and he put up 5 trophy emojis. So then, of course, naturally, Michael Jordan comes back and hits him with a 6 trophy emoji. That was great. That was priceless. Definitely props to those two on their Twitter game. But yeah, so this whole thing was ridiculous. Now you got guys tweeting emojis at each other, subtweeting each other pretty much. And you have people locking down a grown man's house to try and just get him to sign a contract. And then it comes out that they're just playing cards in his house, they're just playing spades or whatever. I saw someone say that JJ Redick called into a radio show and said that him, Blake, Chris Paul, and DeAndre were all playing spades, and Chris Paul and DeAndre were on the same team, and weird stuff like that. And apparently that whole thing about Mark Cuban not being able to contact him, which another thing I personally thought was hilarious when Chris Broussard commented about his sources again and said that Mark Cuban was getting desperate and just driving around Houston just asking people for his number. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, first off, if Mark Cuban didn't have his number, that would be ridiculous. You're not doing your job if you don't have his number at that point when you're trying to recruit this guy and he's one of the bigger free agents in this free agency. And number 2, I just don't see Mark Cuban being that kind of guy to just drive around the city, just start asking people for his number. First off, why would you just drive around Houston and try and just find someone and be like, hey, do you have DeAndre Jordan's number? Not many people are going to have it that are just, around the city. That doesn't make any sense. But definitely props to Mark Cuban as well for replying to Broussard, telling him that was, quote, the dumbest shit he's ever heard. That was great. That was hilarious. But yeah, so they're still locking his house down. He's deciding that all of a sudden now he wants to go back to the Clippers. And then it comes out that he signs the same 4-year deal, but for $84 million as compared to $80 million. And so, he did get some more money out of it, and he's going. Honestly, I think if he goes back to the Clippers, I think he'll have a better chance at a championship than he would if he went to the Mavs. I know the Mavs have some tried and true players there like Dirk and all those guys who were there for their championship, but I just feel like with the way that the Clippers have been growing together and their team chemistry that they have so far, I just think that it's better for them to stay together because I think they'll have a better shot. Also, you got Lance Stevenson coming in. They shipped out Matt Barnes and some other guys to try and get more help offensively, and especially on the wing. They definitely needed – I mean, that was everyone's big thing. They needed a wing. That was their biggest issue, and they have Lance Stevenson now, but they just needed that offensive threat at the wing because when you have Matt Barnes there, everyone's just kind of like, all right, we'll let him shoot. Like, you can live with Matt Barnes just trying to shoot all the time. But with some other – if you have a better quality wing, then obviously people have to pay attention to. So, all in all, it was ridiculous. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if, like, they did go on to win if they did go on to win a championship, that there would be a 30 for 30 about this, about how, like, they locked him down in the house and all this kind of stuff and played cards just to get him to sign a contract. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But good for the Clippers. I mean, good for them getting a big piece back for their team. I mean, they're going for the championship. They really want it. They're close to it, but going to have to at least get out of the West. And as we saw this year, that's definitely not an easy thing to do. So, going on to Summer League, I mean, there's been some impressive play from, I mean, the big picks and some other guys as well. Justice Winslow has been looking pretty good for Miami. Another guy who's been looking great is Stanley Johnson for Detroit. He's been putting up some good numbers, and for them, like, I mean, having a starting caliber small forward, at least potentially, is definitely big for them. And Stanley Johnson, personally, I wanted the Sixers to get Stanley Johnson because I thought he was going to be a great player. And there was a lot of things coming out about him, just about how, like, oh, his work ethic isn't that great. He kind of has an attitude about it as well. A lot of people were saying that he was potentially going to be the biggest bust out of this draft class. So I'm glad that he's doing well, and I'm glad that, at least for now, he's shutting some people up. I mean, obviously you're going to have to do it when you finally step into all the regular competition in the NBA, because it's not the Summer League then. It's not definitely nowhere near as easy as the Summer League is. Not saying the Summer League is easy, but compared to the NBA competition. Another guy doing well as expected was Jahlil Okafor. I definitely liked what I saw from him. Splitting double teams down low, just getting some tough fadeaway post shots to go in, some up and unders. I mean, they were great. The only thing that really stunk was that, like, the Sixers didn't really have much spacing because they didn't really have many three-point shooters on the Utah Summer League team, so they couldn't really give Okafor the room, really, that he needed to operate. He always had to start, like, way out far, and it was pretty difficult. But Jeremy Grant looks like he's getting better as well. Had that huge dunk that you can see on our website on Basketball Society. And another guy who has been talked about by a lot of Sixers fans that might have gone to Philly was Mario Hezonja. He looked pretty good as well for Orlando. I mean, that whole team was kind of stacked for that Orlando Summer League with Aaron Gordon and Elfrid Payton and Mario Hezonja. I mean, those three guys right there are pretty big parts of the team already. So they were looking very good. Aaron Gordon looked like he was improving a lot. I mean, his shot looked a whole lot better from last year. So that is definitely promising for Orlando fans. The Las Vegas Summer League starts tonight, and that should be interesting with D'Angelo Russell versus Karl Anthony Towns. I'm pretty sure that's the first game as well. that should be really interesting to see the number 1 and 2 pick go against each other. And then you'll have Okafor going against D'Angelo Russell as well on Saturday, I think it is, which will be tomorrow. And those should be some really fun games to watch, especially when like you had all the Sixers fans wanting D'Angelo Russell. There's Lakers fans that wanted Okafor. That should definitely be interesting to watch, and I'm definitely going to be tuned in for that one. So, thank you guys for watching another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. I will see you guys next week. Peace.